Hello DPCR students. This is going to be a quick overview of the different blocks within Scratch. We've discussed this in class on at least 2 different occasions, depending on whether or not we were able to have class on your day. So, as you can see, in Scratch, all your codes, your scripts, your controls are all broken out into different blocks, and those blocks are color coordinated. So you have your motion blocks. These are your blue blocks. These have to do with any kind of motion that your sprite or your character will do. So you can move 10 steps, you can turn 15 degrees, you can point in directions. If they have a finger, the dinosaur sprites don't work too well with this. You can have them go to a specific point on the x-axis and the y-axis. You can have them go to where the mouse is pointed. So my mouse is over here, so you can see that that's why he moved that way. So for some of you guys that have like the basketball project, this may be a good code to use, because you can then say you can use an event command to go to where you want, and then place your mouse and then use that event command, which I can show you here in a minute. Glide, which has them actually move. Let's see here. Let's put when A. So I want it to actually happen on A. So let's make that more like 3 seconds. So now when I press the A key, it should just move. Let's see here. There it is. So you can see, you can glide. Typically in Scratch, the X and Y axis points are set to where that is currently. So right now he should be at -10 X and -Y for, or -3 for Y. You can change X by 10. You can see this. Remember, right. To move right, you want positive. To move left, you want to use negative. You can also set X to a certain number, and then you can do the same thing for Y. And then the same thing for Y. Positive is up. Negative. Oh, didn't take my negative command in there, sorry. Negative is down. If on edge, this causes it to bounce when it gets to the bottom. Well, if you tell it to move 10 steps and you're using a loop and you're telling it to move 10 steps forever and ever and ever, as soon as it gets to the edge, it's basically going to stop. Now, if you're writing this in Java, you're writing this in C++ or another programming language, what you would end up getting is an error code, right? Or you would get an anomaly. You would get or a behavior that you don't want, because you don't want your character just to completely disappear. Perhaps you do if you wanted him just to vanish altogether, but there's easier, more cleaner ways to handle that. The edge, if on edge bounce, you see here, we'll just click on this guy here. He's now set to X. He's going to wait. Monica's going to say what? We're going to wait. Now he's going to bounce around. Alright? So you can see this motion here. If on edge, what that allows it to do is as soon as it gets to the edge, it's going to change the positive to negative until it gets over here. And then once it hits this edge, it's going to change the negative to positive and move back. Again, I've already shown this into another video, but look what happens when I take that out. See, this is the cool thing to do in Scratch. You can't do this in any other programming language, really. You can't just kind of play around with this. So I hope you're as excited about it as I am. Well, let's stop. Okay. Those are your motions. Learn them, play around with them. Your looks. These are anything to do with how it looks. So you can have these little boxes come up. You can have the difference between say and think. You get the call out box for say, think, you get the thought box, which are just those little dots. Show and hide, obviously make it appear and make it disappear. Switch costumes. Some of your sprites come with multiple costumes. This one in particular doesn't. But if I were to click over to my other dinosaur, I get what, 6 or 7 different dinosaurs. If I wanted to change them, I have my entire list of dinosaurs. Now for this one, you only get one, so there is no changing it. And now I want to move back to where it really was. I wanted him to be. There it is. Alright. Next costume, it's going to go in order. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Next just simply is going to go to A is going to change to B. Backdrop. Remember how to change your backdrops? That's right there. Changing backdrops allows you to change from what I have as the desert to something else. Color. I have this command on this one here. So change color by 25. So let's look at the blue dinosaur. Now when I press space, every time I press space, he's going to do something different. He's going to change a different color. Okay? Clear graphic effect. That's a little complicated. We're not going to discuss that right now, but that's if you wanted to make your own modifications to something. If you go to the bitmap, which is right here, change size. Obviously, you can make it bigger or smaller. Negative shrinks. Positive increases. Change set size %. Again, the same thing. The thing to remember about the size thing, you want to be careful about. Smaller is not bad. Bigger, it could get a little grainy, get a little pixely, because these are just bit images. So you just want to be careful about that. Go back. That's not going to probably really work on my function here, but so you can see here, I have the dinosaur now in front. If I say go to the front, he should just pop up. There he is. Okay, so that's how you can change the change that. These last bits here, like the costume and backdrop name, again, those are just more specific things that you don't want to do right now because they add a little layer of complexity. The sound pieces. The sounds are super straightforward. We've already discussed how to create a sound. You click the new record new sound, and then you can record your voice of your siblings, your parents, whoever. If you don't want to do that, you have your entire library here that comes with the Scratch program. You can also upload this. This is for those of you who recorded sounds using other recording devices, your phone, whatever. You can create an MP4 file or MPG file. I'm sorry, MP4 is video, and you can upload it to Scratch this way, just as you would upload any file. And then you see the name. So I have joke 1, joke 2. You change the name up here, and then when you're in the sound, you have the options that you are available to your character. Sounds are set to the character. So I have joke 1, joke 2 for the green dinosaur, but if I click on the blue dinosaur, I have what? I have Monica laughing, and I have recording 1. So now when I go to the sounds, I have a lot more different options. So if you make a recording and then you click on your script and you're like, where's my recording? It's probably not set to the right character. Click over. You can always import it back into a new character. You can always copy it over into a new character. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Drums. Just an electronic drum sound. Note. Electronic note sound. You can change your instruments. The number here is set to an instrument. And then that's how you can change your instruments. Volume, obviously you can set your volume. Tempo, I'm not a musician, but someone who knows more about music can explain it better than me. but it's basically the pace that your sound is occurring at. Events. I say this every time I talk about events, and I'm not going to stop. This is the most important part of your code. Nothing happens without an event code. Remember, coding is extremely explicit. If you don't tell it to do something, it's not going to do it. If you remove this when green flag is clicked, this code has no value. It has no worth. Why? Because the computer doesn't know, well, when do I do this? When do I set x to negative 49? Why would I do that? Now, you or I may say, well, of course you do that when the green flag is clicked. It doesn't know that. You have to put it in here. You have to explicitly tell it, I want you to do these commands when this happens. So, in this case, when green flag is clicked. That's how it knows the difference between this set of commands here and this set of commands here. It's why I asked you to do two different command codes or event codes, because I wanted you to see the difference. It's important because different things happen at different times. As we discussed in class, you may want one command to be set at a certain time, and then you want something else to happen under a certain condition. So it's important that you have these event codes. The last thing we're going to talk about here is your controls. Your controls are also what I refer to as repeat statements, loop statements. All of these are essentially controls. These are conditionals too. Conditionals is a new term that we're going to be talking about in the coming class. A conditional is a set of commands or a set of scripts or commands or code that put a set of conditions on the code overall. So, for example, wait 3 seconds. That's a conditional, right? So no matter what happens, when I hit the green flag, it's going to set x to negative 49 and it's going to set y to negative 40. Remember, that's the position of this dinosaur. So let's hit the green flag. Boom. He moves. Right? Condition. Wait 3 seconds. Then play the sound. Now the computer knows I do this instantly. I instantly set x to negative 49, y to 40, the position of where the blue dinosaur is. Then I wait 3 seconds. Then I play this sound. Then I wait another 3 seconds. Then I play this sound. Then I do this until the program ends. Forever means until the program ends. If I wanted to repeat 10, then it would do it 10 times. So 10 times means move 10 steps, bounce on edge, move 10 steps, bounce on edge, move 10 steps, bounce on edge. So each time it moves 10 steps and bounces on an edge, that's one time. It'll do that 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see my mouse is moving in a circle or a loop. Hence the term loop. That means it's going to keep going around and around and around and around. Your other conditionals, which I want you to kind of avoid right now, because again they add a little bit of layer of complexity, is your if-then statements. For some of you guys, we've had enough time in class to talk about if-then statements at a much deeper level. Others of you haven't been in the room, so we haven't had a chance yet. But as weather becomes more friendly to us, we will definitely get into if-thens. If-thens are really important because there are certain times where you want a condition to occur, but not other times. So if-thens allow you to control for that. Sensing, operations, more blocks, pen, and data, we're going to avoid right now because that's a whole layer of complexity which we'll get to at another time. All right, thank you very much. Please use this opportunity to watch this video, stop, rewind, go back over things, take notes, because we will be having quizzes on this information, and then play around. The easiest and best way to learn how to do it is to do exactly what I did. You don't know what something does? Click on it and see what happens. If nothing happens, like this move 15 degrees, it means that there's something in the code that's telling it not to do it. And so I have all these different layers of coding here, which is preventing it from doing this particular command. Okay? If you have any questions, make sure you email technology@dbcr.org. Thank you.